Well, if socialism is nothing more than being kind to other people, then you might think the answer is yes. But you could be kind to other people and be a capitalist. John D. Rockefeller.
Wait, what? Yo, he's not going to say the Rockefellers were kind, right? No. Oh my God, my dude. Like, this is the one. This is literally the perfect example of someone who tried desperately to engage in philanthropy to fucking. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude.
Rockefeller probably gave away more money than anyone in human history, and he was certainly a capitalist. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett have given away millions, too.
Bro, you could have gone with anybody else, dude. You literally could have gone with anyone else. Why did he go with, like, he went to the fucking core?
To get an accurate answer to our question, we need to define socialism. Socialism is the concentration of power into the hands of government elites to achieve the following purposes: central planning of the economy and the radical redistribution of wealth. Jesus never called for any of that. Nowhere in the New Testament does he advocate for the government to punish the rich or even to use tax money to help the poor.
So, do we just not look at the actions of Jesus? Like, I'm no fucking theology geek, but I feel like his actions, like, you know, curing the lepers and shit, and you know, feeding the poor, I feel like that's kind of important, right? Like, isn't that basically what the fuck a socialized medicine is advocating for? I'm so confused. Like, how do you make the argument that Jesus, St. Paul killed two people who lied about giving away all their money? Yeah, the needle camel rich man heaven shit is the famous thing that I think about. Like, a rich man at the gates of heaven has a harder shot than a fucking camel threading through a needle hole or whatever the fuck. What is the take? You guys know better. Just then a man came up to Jesus and asked, "Teacher, what good thing must I do to eternal life?" "Why do you ask me about what is good?" Jesus replied. "There's only one who is good. If you want to enter life, keep the commandments." 18, "Which ones?" he inquired. Jesus replied, "You shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal, you shall not give false testimony, honor your father and your mother, love your neighbor as yourself, and also arbitrage and those who buy PlayStation 5s with bots on the Walmart website are totally a normal and nay a necessary part of supply side economics." That's what Jesus said, which was pretty base, dude. Neoliberal Jesus. He said, those who purchase as many PlayStations as possible through different means, allowing others not to, those are the people who are definitely going to go to heaven, as long as they sell it at a ridiculous price afterwards.
Nor does he promote the ideas of state ownership of businesses or central planning of the economy. In Luke 12, Jesus is confronted by a man who wants him to redistribute wealth. "Master," the man says to Jesus, "tell my brother."
I don't know why these guys are advocating for capitalist Jesus. I mean, socialist Jesus. When it's very clear that Jesus Christ literally said to the lepers, "No, you have a pre-existing condition. I can't heal you. You have to pay me." Like, it's just like buying a couch. Healthcare is just like buying a couch. Jesus famously said this. Okay? And he was also an ANCAP. He hated taxes as well.
To divide the inheritance with me. Jesus replies, man, who made me a judge or divider over you? And then he rebukes the man for being envious of his sibling.
Wait, but that's the conversation revolves around envy and not around fucking, wait, what? That's not about like ending estate taxes, man. Like, what?
Tell my brother to divide the inheritance with me. Jesus replies,
bro, my man saw this and was like, no, this is actually about abolishing the estate tax. That's what's Christian like.
man, who made me a judge or divider over you? And then he rebukes the man for being envious of his sibling. How about Jesus' parable of the talents? Talents were a form of money in Jesus' day. A man entrusted 3 of his workers with his wealth. The 2 who invested the money and made a profit were praised, and the one who buried his share so he wouldn't lose any of it was reprimanded.
Wait, what the fuck? Wait, isn't usury a sin in Christianity too? Wait, what? Am I crazy? I thought it was only not a sin in Judaism. This motherfucker literally is saying that the Bible literally wants you to invest your money. Did he just patch it? Was that a live patch, dude? Oh, this guy's unironically making supply side Jesus arguments. What the fuck?
Sounds a lot more like an endorsement for capitalism than socialism, doesn't it? Yes, Jesus spoke of the difficulty for a rich man to enter heaven, but not because having money is evil. It's not money, rather it is the love of money, the New Testament tells us, that leads to evil. Jesus...
Dude, I've never seen... Yo. Okay. This, like, capitalism and Christianity cannot coexist, okay? It just does not work that way. I mean, it's all interpretation, and you can use religion for whatever fucking personal interpretation that you have for your own personal interests. But this guy is no different than, like, I don't know, some fucking cult leader that's, like, interpreting the tenets of Christianity to imply that, like, he can fuck everyone's wife in his cult. And also the children, too. You know what I mean? Like, this is some Waco shit, dude. Seriously. Like, you're just... There's no difference in the way that this guy is interpreting the Bible. Like, than fucking Waco. I mean, prosperity gospel is, like, pretty much the entire thing that he is doing right now. Right?
Jesus was warning us not to put acquisition of money and material possessions above our spiritual and moral lives. Was Jesus promoting a socialist model when he kicked the money changers out of the temple in Jerusalem? Again, the answer is no. Note the location where the incident occurred. It was in the holiest of places, God's house. Jesus was not angry at buying and selling in and of themselves. He was angry that these things happened in a house of prayer.
So buying and selling is ungodly, and like tradesmanship of this, like mercantilism of this sort is not good enough for God's house, but everywhere else actually technically it's really good. Is that what he's fucking saying? Also, churches do this shit nonstop. Bro, usury is a sin. I can't get over this, dude. Usury is a sin in both Christianity and Islam. Okay? It's nuts. Like, money is the root of all evil. The fucking rich man's chances in getting into the through the gates of heaven. Like, you can't just retcon all this shit. I mean, you can. He's literally doing it.
He never drove a money changer from a marketplace or from a bank. Jesus advises us to be of generous spirit, to show kindness, to assist the widow and the orphan. But he clearly means this to be our responsibility, not the government's. Consider Jesus' Good Samaritan story. A traveler comes upon a man at the side of a road. The man had been beaten and robbed and left half dead. What did the traveler, the Good Samaritan, do? He helps the unfortunate man on the spot with his own resources. Ask yourself, to help the poor, would Jesus prefer that you give your money freely to the Salvation Army, for example, or have it taxed by politicians to fund a welfare bureaucracy? Progressives like to point out that Jesus said, "Render unto Caesar."
Okay, dude, I'm losing my mind. Oh, wow. This is really informative to see, like, to see how people justify this shit is so funny. Yeah. By the way, welfare, dog. Welfare. Like, you can't use that as a bad word while you're literally talking about a form of Christian welfare, just because the implication is that welfare is bad in your mind and in the opinion of your audience. Is this super typical of a Christian past to talk about money? Yeah, no shit, because they want to get like a third fucking private jet to fuck kids in, okay? That's why. 2 private jets are not enough to fuck kids in. They need a third one just for kid fucking. That's why they need to preach the prosperity gospel. Welfare bad, corporate welfare good. Jesus said, render unto
Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God's.
Wait! That's not Jesus, right? Is Jesus getting progressively whiter and more Aryan throughout this? It's Obi-Wan Kenobi? Yo, Jesus got blue eyes and blonde hair in this? What the fuck?
Render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's. And
oh, no, sorry. This is not, he's saying Jesus
unto
said
God
this.
the things that are God's. But that has absolutely nothing to do with high taxes or wealth redistribution. It was the seed for the idea of separating church and state that are God's. But that has absolutely nothing to do with high taxes or wealth redistribution. It was the seed for the idea of separating church and state. It certainly wasn't the same as saying that whatever Caesar said.
Wait, motherfucker, but you don't even want to separate church and state. Like, we're talking about praise your you.
As is his must then be so, no matter how much he demands or what he intends to use it for. So there is no evidence that Jesus was a socialist, and there's lots of evidence that he supported free markets.
There is what?
In addition to the parable
Free
of the
markets,
talents,
dude.
Jesus offers his parable of the workers in the vineyard. In it, a landowner hires some laborers to pick grapes. Near the end of the day, he realizes he needs more workers to get the job done. To recruit them, he agrees.
Bro, the Bible explicitly says tax collectors are sinners. Wait, what? Really? I mean, it's, first of all, like, lending money is literally a sin. Like, charging interest after lending money to someone is a sin, okay? Like, am I getting this wrong? Like, it is undeniably a sin, both in Islam and in Christianity. That's usury, by the way, for those of you who were wondering. Why are you saying no? It's because Roman tax collectors fucked the poor instead of wealthy Romans that lived in villas and shit. Because tax collectors bought the roll from Roman politicians, whatever they could collect, they could keep. Christians are supposed to forgive all debts every 7 years, only because they exploited the people. Wait, I want to know. In the time of Jesus, tax collectors collected extra and kept the difference.
Agrees to pay a
Matt 1921, if you want to be perfect, go sell your possessions and give to the poor. If you want to have treasure in heaven, then come follow me. And you will have treasure in heaven, then come follow me. Yeah, no, that's they'll say that this is an argument for individual charity.
full day's wage for just 1 hour of work. When one of the laborers who had worked an entire day complains, the landowner answers, "I'm not being unfair to you, friend. Didn't you agree to work for a denarius? Don't I have the right to do what I want with my own money? That's a testament to the principles of supply and demand, of private property, and of voluntary contracts, not socialism. Jesus never endorsed the forced redistribution of wealth. That idea is rooted in envy, something that he and the 10th of the 10 Commandments railed against.
Like, why isn't he talking about healing the lepers and shit? Like, I don't get it. I mean, this is so bad, dude. This guy wasn't the good guy in the fucking story. Oh, Jesus would have supported Trump. He also would have supported anyone who beat Nameless King. Well, I mean, I know Jesus would never support me, but...
Most importantly, Jesus cared about helping the less fortunate.
There's a part of the Bible where God murks two dudes because they don't want to give their money to the church to use. Look, I'm an Old Testament head, okay? The reason why I'm an Old Testament head is because of the story where the kids make fun of a balding guy. They say, baldy, baldy, look how bald you are. And then bears kill those fucking kids, okay? So I'm a fan of that. I'm also a fan of the story of Hunter Biden in the Old Testament where his brother's wife, his brother dies. And then Hunter Biden literally has to come inside of his brother's recently widowed wife. So, like, these are stories that I think have important lessons in them. The Bible says, obey capitalism. Slaves, obey your earthly masters with respect and fear and with sincerity of heart, just like you would obey Christ. A sense of awe came over everyone. Apostles performed many wonders and signs. All the believers were together and had everything in common, selling their possessions and goods they shared with anyone who was in need. The congregation of believers was one in heart and soul. No one claimed that any possessions was his own, but shared everything they owned. It sounds like communism to me.
He never would have approved anything that undermines wealth creation. And the only thing that has ever created wealth and lifted masses of people out of poverty is free market capitalism.
Wait, now Jesus is selling? Oh, no, he's not. Abraham is selling.
Out of poverty is free market capitalism. Read the New Testament. The plain meaning of the text is loud and clear. Jesus was not a socialist. He couldn't be. He loved people, not the state.
Socialism is when the state does things. And the more the state does things, the more socialist it is. Jesus never opposed wealth creation, but usury is a sin. First of all, you can create wealth without usury. Like, I think we are so embedded and invested in a capitalist organization, the economy, that like you can't fucking comprehend a world where you literally create wealth on your own labor. Now, it's never completely isolated, no matter what happens. All manner of wealth creation is done as a consequence of collective action. Okay. There's no isolated individuals in a vacuum that become billionaires on their own. At every point of that process, there are people that are working alongside of you, right? But ultimately, socialism stems back to commodity production and the means of production being owned by the workers themselves. Like, it has nothing to do with like the state fucking forcibly redistributing people's wealth at gunpoint or some shit like that.
Lawrence Reed, president of...
But irony is, communism is a stateless, moneyless society, and it literally is the Bible. So, yeah, that's why I said Jesus was a communist. Because he was a communist.
The Foundation for Economic Education for Prager University.
I love that this spells fee. Foundation of Economic Education literally is fee. That's so good. Communism is heaven on earth because God is communism in heaven. How does the transition to socialism work without taking property? Genuine question. It doesn't. It's like talking about affirmative action and why it's racist, right? Affirmative action is done along racial boundaries because it is supposed to correct the wrongs of the past wrongs that were done on racial boundaries. And in that same way, expropriation is a similar, it revolves around a similar understanding that private property or land was shut off from everyone else and not considered to be a part of the commons or common good as a consequence of enclosures. So historically speaking, it is considered a wrong to shut people off from what is supposed to be all of ours. And therefore, expropriation would be an effort to right the wrongs of the past, wrongs that were done along those boundaries. I think I did a decent job of describing that. I don't know. And have the slaves over, work them and treat them like family, but they're only good if we get more from them. The whores are your friends. Grab them by their pussies. Donald, 1620. Oh, yeah. Wait, Donkey wasn't trolling? Why, is he doing a... Did Donkey actually do a Among Us video or something? Personal property is not the same as private property, by the way. Merch mock-up. Oh, that's cute as fuck. Christian communism.